And man, when you called in, right, I was really impressed. One, by your background, but also two, just kind of your passion about it, right? And so you'd mentioned there that you were sharing it with kind of your close network. But one thing that stood out to me is man, is you were like presenting, right? You were like going to events and like renting booths and talking to people about this with having no skin in the game, man. You're just out there trying to share this message. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I guess because it's worked so well for me early on, and just to kind of go back a little bit, I was when I first started it, the way I was thinking I was going to use it was first to pay for my taxes, right? And then I own a business, a sales business, so once it kind of like grew the cash value big enough where I could like pay my end of year taxes sort of thing, then I started using it for cash flow purposes in my business, which I still do to this day. And then so then as the cash value is growing, now I have some available capital for opportunities. So I was using it to buy short-term rentals. I was using it to pay for my book that I self-published, land investing, an Amazon business that I started. So I had been using it now for a while, and so I was just like, everybody needs to know about this. So because this is amazing, and I just felt like if I could help family and friends position themselves better, that that would be great for them. And yeah, I don't know why. I understand why I'm so passionate. Why I feel like I need to go and tell everyone about it. That I don't know. There's something subconscious in me. But shockingly though, a lot of people weren't as excited as me to talk about life insurance. So
That's
that was
weird.
strange. I don't know. I thought life insurance was one of the most exciting topics to talk about, but that is not the case for a lot of people.
No, no.
Awesome, man. You touched on a few things there, some of the ways that you've used it. I don't know if you want to highlight one or two, just kind of high level of some of the opportunities that you've acted on over the years using your policy.
Yeah. So, like I said, obviously the boring stuff has helped pay for taxes, help my cash flow. So obviously as a business owner, I'm sure there's lots of other business owners out there that you might have some months where things are down and some months where things are up. And so being able to loan my business, make loans from my policies to my businesses helps me manage all my cash flows. So that is incredibly handy. And then, yeah, so it's helped me purchase a farm in Maine that me and my partners do short-term rentals with, large group rentals. That's pretty exciting, which we then leverage to buy a second short-term rental. And so that's probably the most exciting, but funding my book. So shockingly, if you get a good artist, they're not cheap. So my policies have funded that, and then the cash flow from those book sales go right back into the policy. So yeah, so those are just a few of the ways I've done it, but it's worked great. And if I hadn't done this, I don't know what I would have done with this capital. That's another thing that I think is overlooked, is the forced savings that building out this kind of infrastructure has allowed me to have opportunities that I otherwise never would have had. So
Awesome, man. Is you mentioned your book a couple times, and I haven't touched on it yet. I'm kind of pushing that off, but I will make sure that we touch on it. One of the things you mentioned in there is you're kind of in a group, right? You're in kind of an investors group, and that's one of the instructions that Nelson has for us in this book, right? At the end of his book, he talks about getting in community with others and kind of sharing those ideas. Tim, how long you've been in that group, right? What benefit have you seen coming from that? Can you share that aspect with our listeners?
Sure. Yeah. So actually, my one of my friends and clients, who I think you've had on the podcast coming up here, we started, or technically it was his idea, but we started this maybe a year ago now. So we get together at least once a month, various individuals. It could be people who are business owners, real estate investors, or other people in all sorts of different industries. And we get together at least once a month. and we talk about everything. So it could be anything from just the general economy, like where we think things are going, what do we think about interest rates, etc. Or it could be somebody has an issue with their business or an investment that they're considering, and so we're able, as a group, to kind of to discuss these things and use everyone as a sounding board. And then plus multiple people in the groups have done different deals together at this point. Now we're talking about like pooling funds together to go after other deals. So it's been it's just fun. It's great to get together with a group of people and talk about these things. And everyone is different, so you get lots of great ideas, you get lots of interesting conversation, so worst case scenario, that's all you get, and that's still, to me, worth doing. But then you hear about opportunities you otherwise wouldn't have heard about. You hear about ideas that you hadn't considered. So yeah, if people can do this, again, it's an unofficial group that we put together, but if you have a group like that, I'd say start it if you haven't.
You want to see the entire episode? Click here. If you want to learn how investors use infinite banking to increase their returns and lower their taxes, click here. If you want to see if infinite banking is for you and you have some questions, hop on a discovery call with us and one of our coaches. The link for that will be in the description.